other companion, she's running a little late, but she's on her way. So we started about that.
Igor, where's your helm? Igor, where's your helm?
Interesting that you would ask me that. You Americans think that you invented the idea of the hat on backwards. We came up with it first, me and my friends. See, we don't play baseball in the sun. We played at night. And the visor is intended to keep the sun out of your eyes. Well, at night there's no sun, and it gets in the way. So we turn the hat around, and so that way we can play baseball without the visor. And the last time we played baseball, our friend, the Wolfman, he was on third base, and everybody was shouting at him to steal home. Now, I didn't understand that, because why would you steal something you own? You own your home, unless you rent, of course. But you steal home, and that's what he was saying. So Wolfman left third base, ran towards where he started from, and kept going. And then we get a phone call from the police saying they've arrested him for being in possession of stolen property, because he stole somebody's home. He just picked it up and carried it off. Now, the other people, our other friends, Cyclops, I believe it was, he bailed him out. It was after the party that we had last fall, and all our friends were there. And somebody spiked the punch, and everybody was getting drunk. And somebody punched the Cyclops in the eye. Poor chap. He had to walk around with a seeing cat. Now, it couldn't be a seeing eye dog, because 1 minute the dog looked at him and ran off. So we had no choice but to use a seeing eye cat. So anyway, now now I have a cousin. You might have heard of him, the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Now, that's where I get my good looks from. And he loves ringing that bell. And he was also at the party. And Frankenstein, he's a fine chap. And one day, the bolts came out of his neck, and along with the washers that held it in place. So we were all saying, sorry, we weren't saying that, but what we were saying was, we got to get new washers to put the bolts back into his neck. So they went to the hardware store, and they got washers, and fortunately the hardware store was right next to the appliance store, so they also brought in dryers to go with the washer. And I said, well, that's a very nice thought, we appreciate that, but unfortunately that's not going to work. Now, finally, we also have another friend named Dracula, and one day Dracula was complaining about a toothache. He went, and he didn't want to go to the dentist, but he did go, and the dentist told him that his fang one of his fangs needed a root canal. Now, he never had a root canal before. He didn't want to have it done. But the dentist told him that if he didn't have the root canal done, the toothache or in the fang would get infected. So he relented and he had the root canal done. Now he's a very sad chap because now he's less thirsty than he used to be. And instead of a pint of blood, he can only get half pint of blood. So that's what's happened with that. While my friends and I were in China, we met a very wise philosopher, is what he called himself, and his name was Confucius, I believe. And so
second floor. Hello.
Confucius need to let air out of hat. So see, Confucius can't say joke. Confucius said, need to let air out of head so hat fit.
You look fine, Confucius. What pearls of wisdom do you have to share today?
Confucius said,
You're okay.
very disturbed by all shootings in your country. Honorable friend. Confucius said, he without gun rarely shoot anyone.
Very true.
Confucius said, most a bully is bull. Confucius said, bar with parking spaces supports drinking and driving.
What about texting?
Confucius said, whoever first thought it's okay to text while driving receives paid residuals every time someone does it.
I think I lived next door to him. He brags about the checks he gets every month. What are all this violence, like in Baltimore?
Confucius will tell you in a minute. Sorry about that. Confucius said, when might makes right, then right is wrong, and then what is left is right.
Sorry I asked.
Confucius said, he who hogs two handicapped parking spaces is in fact disabled. He has poor depth perception.
Yes.
Confucius said, he who has ace in the hole is not playing with full deck. Confucius said, better get his card straight. Okay. Confucius needs a chart. Confucius said, never assume. Trying to get this straight. Never assume, because when you assume, you make ass out of you and me. And I just made an ass out of me. Dropping it on the floor. Now it needs to be disinfected. So, Confucius joking. Confucius one big joke. Okay. Confucius puzzle place. Okay. Confucius say, thunder is what lightning sounds like, and lightning is what thunder looks like. Confucius say, proctologist with poor depth of perception is better than surgeon with shaky hands. Confucius say, he who buys 5 diamonds must sell jack of clubs. Confucius say, he who flies too much should zip up his pants.
Confucius?
Yes, honorable friend.
Shut up.
Of course, he who talks too much does not listen well, and Confucius listens well. You tell Confucius to shut up. Confucius, shut up. Confucius not type to speak incessantly when told to shut up. Other people don't know when to shut up, but Confucius knows when to shut up.
Confucius.
Yes?
Shut up, shut up.
And Confucius lost his hat. They didn't let air out his head. Excuse me. Okay. Now, another friend of Confucius, I'm all choked up about it, is Pa Kettle. Now, unfortunately, my girlfriend and companion,
There you go.
mine in front of my face. Unfortunately, my girlfriend is still on her way to do mob part. Excuse me. But I could do Pa Kettle, howdy there, and with me is Pa Kettle. Okay, howdy there, Mom. Okay, we got the Pa Kettle now. Okay, trying to get all these voices straight, especially without my friend, my girlfriend. Now the other day we went I went to do some coon hunting, and we went to the square dance, and but I don't like going to the square dances. I prefer going to the triangle dances. Because the triangle dances are a little sharper style. But then my friend likes to go Ma, of course. I think now I got the Ma down. No, I got the Pa down. Okay. Likes to go to the trapezoid dancing. And another friend likes to go to the parallelogram dancing. But I don't prefer the square dancing too much. Maybe the rectangle dancing, but not so much the square dancing. So that unfortunately is all I can do with podcast, especially that with my girlfriend here. So I apologize for that. In the meantime, you ready? Oh, I have to do both here. Yeah. Okay.
So I hear you're manager of the baseball team.
Yeah.
I'd like to play for the team.
Oh, you would?
Yeah. Could you tell me the names of some of the players so that when I meet them on the field or on the street or something, I can say hello?
Oh, sure. But you know, nowadays they give these ball players very strange names.
Oh, that's okay. Tell me anyway.
Well, let's see. Now, on our team, we have who's on first, what's on second, I don't know who's on third.
Are you the manager? Do you know the players' names?
Well, I should.
Well, tell me.
I just told you.
You didn't tell me anything. Tell me. Go on, tell me.
I say who's on first, what's on second, I don't know what's on third.
Do you know the players' names?
Well, yes, of course.
All right. Who's playing first?
Yes.
Okay, tell me. I mean the guy's name.
Who?
The first baseman.
Who?
The guy playing first.
Who was on first?
What are you asking me for?
I'm not asking you, I'm telling you who was on first.
I'm asking you who's on first.
That's the man's name.
That's whose name?
Yes.
Go ahead and tell me.
Who?
The guy on first base.
Who?
The first baseman.
Who is on first?
What are you asking me for? All I want to know is what's the guy's name on first base.
No, wait a minute. What is the guy's name on second base?
I'm not asking you who's on second.
Who is on first?
Okay, one base at a time.
Well, don't change the players around.
I ain't changing nobody. All I want to know is... Look, When you pay the first baseman's salary every month, who gets the money?
Every dollar.
What?
Why not? He's entitled to it, isn't he?
Who is?
Yes.
I mean, when you give him the money, don't you give him a receipt for the guy?
Of course.
Okay. How does he sign his name?
Who?
The guy you give the money to.
That's how he signs it.
That's how who signs it.
Yes.
I mean, when you give the guy the money, you hand him the receipt. You tell him to sign it. He signs it and gives it back to you.
Yes.
How does he sign it?
Who?
The guy you give the money to.
That's how he signs it.
Look, what's the guy's name on the receipt?
Wait a minute. What signs his own receipt?
Who signs his own receipt?
No, who signs his? Sometimes his wife comes down and signs it for him.
Whose wife?
Yep. Because sometimes you can't come down and pick up his earnings.
Who can?
That's right. We're very understanding about that.
All I'm trying to find out is what's the guy's name on first base?
But what is the guy's name on second base?
I'm not asking you who's on second base.
Who is on first?
I don't know.
Oh, he's on third. We're not talking about it.
Whoa. How did I get on third base?
You mentioned his name.
Whose name? I mentioned his name?
Yes.
I don't know any of the players on this team. How can I mention the third baseman's name?
Well, you did. You mentioned it.
Well, if I mentioned the third baseman's name, who did I say was playing third?
No, who's playing first?
Stay on the first, will ya?
Well, don't mention his name.
I don't know anybody's name. You just stay on third base and don't go off it.
All right. Now, what do you want to know?
How did I get on third base?
You mentioned his name.
I did?
Yes, you did.
I don't remember mentioning his name. Could you tell me the third baseman's name?
I don't know.
Okay, I thought you knew.
I do.
Then tell me the third baseman's name.
I don't know.
If you don't know it, then tell me that. You don't want to have to pretend you don't.
But I do know.
Then tell me who's playing third base.
Now, why do you insist on putting who on third base?
Who am I putting on third base?
Yes, but we don't want him there.
You don't want who there?
No, absolutely not.
So what's the fellow's name that belongs there?
No, he doesn't belong there either.
I don't understand. All I want to know is who's on third base.
Who is on first base?
I'm not asking you what's on first.
What's on second?
Who's on second?
Who's on first?
I don't know.
Well, he's on third.
There I go, like third again.
Can't change their names.
First base, second base, I don't know any of these players. Do you have an outfield?
Oh, yes, we have a very fine outfield.
What's the left fielder's name?
Why?
I just thought I'd ask you.
Well, I just thought I'd tell you.
Then tell me who's playing left field.
Who is playing first?
Stay out of the infield!
Then mention the names out here.
All I want to know is who's playing left field.
Who is playing first?
What's on first?
What's on second?
Who's on second?
Who's on first?
I don't know.
Third
base. Now, what's the left fielder's name?
Why?
Because I want to know. Because.
Always in center field.
What? Who's in center field?
No, who is on first?
I don't know.
Third base. Third base.
Yeah.
I don't know who these players. Do you have a right fielder?
Of course.
His name?
Where?
In right field.
Where?
Over there to the right.
Where's in right field?
Oh, you know, I don't know, anywhere in right field.
Oh, you know his brother.
Whose brother?
No, where's brother?
I have no idea. You mentioned his brother, not me, so you won't tell me the right fielder's name?
Where?
In right field!
Where?
To the right of center field.
That's his name.
That's whose name?
No, who's on first?
I'm not asking you who's on first.
What's on second?
I don't know.
Third base.
I don't suppose you have any coaches.
Oh, of course. We have many coaches for every specific position and one head coach.
Okay, what's the head coach's name?
Which?
The head coach.
Which?
The big master there.
Which is the head coach?
You don't mean to tell me you don't know who the head coach is.
Who has nothing to do with the coaches. He plays first base.
Don't you know who the head coach is?
I do. Look, you don't seem to understand. See, we have many coaches.
And you don't know who the head coach is, for say the first base coach.
Oh, I know him too.
Can you tell me his name?
His name is non-existent.
What does that mean? he has no name?
Of course he has a name.
Then tell me the name.
I told you, he's non-existent.
Now he's non-existent? Where did he go? Go look for him. What did he do? Go look for his name?
Oh, of course not, he's there.
Who's there?
Well, he's there too.
Who's there too?
Yes, but he's on first.
Who's on first?
Certainly.
Who is on first?
Certainly.
Certainly?
Marge.
Certainly.
Marge.
Oh, okay.
Marge,
Certainly
Wilma.
on first.
Wait a second. I didn't
Wilma
say
is standing up.
Yes, you did. You just said certainly's on first.
that. No, who's on first?
Certainly.
That's it.
That's what I'm saying.
No, you're not.
Look, who's on first?
Certainly.
That's what I said. Certainly's on first.
No, who's on first?
I'm just beating some.
Can you go-
I'm just beating
can
some.
you
It's
help
John
me get
paying you all
home?
these players all by yourself.
Well, that's why I have help. I have an assistant manager who works for me.
Okay, tell me his name.
Okay, no one is the assistant manager.
You just said you have an assistant manager.
I do. No one really helps me out.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I'll be happy to help you.
I can't.
Why? Do you have something against no one helping me?
Don't try to step me down.
Yeah, somebody has to take the job.
Somebody can't take the job. He's the bad boy.
Oh, brother. I can't get any straight answers from you. Look, forget it. Do you have a pitcher?
Wouldn't this be a fine team without a pitcher?
I don't know. Tell me the pitcher's name.
Tomorrow. Well, I can't change their names.
What do you... So you don't want to tell me today?
I am telling you.
Then go ahead, tell me.
Tomorrow.
All right, what time?
What time what?
What time tomorrow are you going to tell me the pitcher's name?
No, tell me who's pitching.
Tell me who's pitching.
Who, now listen. Who is not pitching? Who?
I'll break your arm if you say who's on first.
Don't push me.
What can I say? I can't change their names.
You got a catcher?
Sure.
The catcher's name.
Today.
Today. Tomorrow's pitching and today is catching.
Now you got
Now I got it. A couple of days on the team.
it. Well, I can't help that. What do you want me to do?
You know, I'm a pretty good catcher myself.
So they tell me.
Suppose I can catch for the team.
Okay.
I get behind the plate and do some fancy catching. Tomorrow's pitching on my team.
All right.
Now a heavy hitter gets up. Tomorrow winds up, pitches the ball, and the guy at the bat wants to.
Okay.
When he wants the ball, me being a good catcher, I would have thrown to the guy at first base. So I pick up the ball and throw it to who?
Now that's the first thing you said right.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, that's all you have to do.
So tell me the guy. So I throw the ball to first base.
Yes.
Now who's got it?
That's
Sure. Look, I want to throw the guy out. So I throw the ball to first base. Somebody's got to get it. So who has it?
naturally.
So I throw it to who?
Naturally.
And he gets the. And who's got it? Naturally.
Naturally.
Okay.
All right.
So I pick up the ball and I throw it to naturally.
No, you don't. You throw the ball to first base, then who gets it?
Naturally.
That's it. Now you got it.
That's what I said. I pick up the ball and I throw it to naturally.
You don't throw it to naturally.
You throw it to who?
Naturally.
That's what I'm saying.
You're not saying that. You throw the ball to first base
And who has it?
naturally.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, take it easy.
I throw the ball to first base and who's got it?
Naturally.
All right. Now ask me.
You throw the ball to first base, and who gets it?
Naturally.
That's it.
Yeah. Same as you.
No, you throw it to who?
That's who's got it.
Naturally.
That's what I said. You know, I'm getting really confused. First you tell me certainly he's playing first, then you tell me naturally he's playing first. What's going on here? You have two players on first base?
No, of course not.
What is it, naturally like a stand-in for certainly if certainly gets sick?
No, there's only one player at first base, and that player is who?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. Who will get the ball?
Well, don't worry about who. Who will get it?
He better get it.
Take it easy.
I throw the ball to first base. Whoever he is, he drops the ball. So the guy runs to second. Who picks the ball and sends it to what? What throws it to I don't know. I don't know throws it back to tomorrow. Triple play.
Yeah, could be.
Another guy gets up and hits a long fly ball to the Cubs. Why? I don't know. He's on third, and I don't give a darn.
What'd you say?
I said I don't give a darn.
Oh, that's our shortstop.
Are you?
Woo-hoo!
Thank you. Thank you. Well, Eagle back. Thank you for bearing with us, and our poor friend who didn't make it. But Nat did a fine job.
Woo-hoo!
My mouth was very pleased, and I'm very pleased too. And thank you again. You've been a wonderful audience, and I will. My mouth is taking a break right now, and so am I. So thank you again.
Good job. All right. Good job, everybody.